What's up guys, welcome to my Q&A using Finasteride, Minoxidil and Derma Rolling for hair loss. This is a regimen that I've been using for the past 4 months, which has proved very successful for me. I asked you guys in the community section on YouTube if you had any questions that you would like me to answer. And I can't thank you enough for all those questions, so I'm pleased to see everyone getting so involved. But before I begin, I must say that I am not a certified doctor, so anything that I say in this video should not be taken as medical advice. It's based off of my personal experience and my limited knowledge on the subject matter. Can a 17-year-old use Finasteride? No. Anyone under the age of 18 should not be taking Finasteride. DHT, which is the hormone that we're essentially reducing with Finasteride by inhibiting an enzyme called 5-alpha reductase, is also super important for your development as a male. So DHT is crucial up until the point that you're 18. After 18, FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, have claimed it to be safe. That doesn't mean you shouldn't go and take a blood test, because if you're losing your hair at the age of 16, there may be hormonal imbalances or maybe you're lacking certain vitamins, so I would go to a doctor and get their point of view on it since you're so young. Finasteride dosage in the morning or night and your nutrition intake on a daily basis. I take my 1 mg Finasteride every night before I go to bed, along with magnesium and zinc. And at the moment, since I'm bulking a little bit, I'm around 3,000 calories a day. What are your thoughts on 0.5 mg Finasteride each day or 1 mg every alternate day? This is not anything that I've done, so I can't recommend based on my personal experience. However, I have read on Reddit with anecdotal evidence that a lot of people either go on 0.5 mg a day and they have good results, or they tend to do every second day and they also have good results. The data is a little bit different on this. There are so many different combinations and variants you can do, so it really depends on how your body reacts to the medicine. However, if you haven't given 1 mg a day a chance, which is what is recommended, then I wouldn't necessarily start to experiment with the different dosages, because then if you give it 6 months and you don't see any results, you're gonna be like, okay, the medication didn't work, but then you already started tampering with the recommended dosage, so you actually don't know. So in my personal experience, I would just follow the recommended dosage of the medication, because that way you can't go wrong, and it's very easy to conclude whether or not the medication works for you. That being said, there is anecdotal evidence of people doing it these two different ways you were saying that have both been successful. I couldn't tell you. You do what feels best for you. I have quite a hard time understanding the question here. I don't see a question, but what I think you mean is you're 18, you're losing your hair. Your uncle is bald, but your father is not. He has good hair. If you're 18, you can go on medication, Finasteride, Minoxidil. I would suggest that you speak to a doctor beforehand. Also, some people claim that hair loss is inherited from your mother's side. Some claim it doesn't matter. Some claim it's just from your father's side. You know at least that you have balding in your genetics, because on your mom's side, one of the guys, your mom's brother, is bald. So without a question, you have it in your genetics. Do you have it? We don't know. Go and speak to a doctor, see if they can figure out if you have male pattern baldness, and if so, know that there's something you can do about it. Hi Victor, thanks for your videos. Thank you very much. My question is that, is there any issue with changing the concentration of minoxidil from lower to higher and higher to lower? My question in return is, why would you do that? So the recommended dosage of topical minoxidil for males is 5%. For women, it's 2%. So I would just stay at 5%. If you go any higher, I wouldn't know why you want to do that. And in that case, speak to a doctor. I would, however, see that changing the concentration will have some effect on maybe shedding. That's all I can say. Hey man, love the content. Thank you very much, bro. My question, would you have any advice on how to remain optimistic during this process? I'm on Finasteride. I'm really down dealing with this so young. This is a really tough one, because we take having hair for granted until the point where we know we're losing our hair. No one who is losing their hair will know what we're experiencing, which is why also we feel so alone, because we look at other people and we're like, oh, why aren't they losing their hair? I mean, why did it have to be me? I know how much that can be devastating to your self-image and your confidence. However, you're doing something about it. And it's not gonna take a week, it's not gonna take 1 month, it's gonna take maybe a year until you're back to where you were, if you'll ever come back. But you're doing something about it, and that's what's most important. I think in the world we live in today, we're constantly looking for a quick pill. And I did that too, and I tend to do so with other things. I mean, we all do, right? The least amount of effort for the most gain. In the perfect world, we could apply that to everything, but usually the things that are worth having takes a lot of effort to achieve. So know you're not alone. There are a lot of us. If you guys could go to the comment section and talk a little bit about how you're feeling and support each other, that would be awesome. We're all in this boat together. And you have to know you're more than your hair. So if you were to have no hair today, there's still so much more to you than just your hair. I mean, think about it. You have family that loves you, you have friends, you have interests, you have your whole future in front of you. Going through these hardships so early will only develop your character. You decide who you want to become. Which is also why I'm so interested in self-improvement, because they kind of correlate. Like losing my hair was losing a part of my own identity, which I really associated with. Coming to terms with dealing with hair loss, but knowing that I couldn't come back 100% and being fine and accepting that my hair would never be like it once was a major struggle for me, but it was something that I had to do in order to become confident in myself and become happy with my life situation. Because there are some things we just can't control. We can do our best to control it, but at some point we're gonna have to be proud of our efforts and credit ourselves, give ourselves a pat on the back and say, we did all we could, we fought to our full potential, this is the result, but you walk away knowing that you've done everything. If your hair loss regimen is working for you with only finasteride, then that's great. Give it a year, see how it goes, and if you're gaining back hair, that's great. If not, you can always add minoxidil and derma rolling to improve it further. But while these months go on, the worst thing you can actually do is just being stuck in this loop and be like, okay, well, in 1 year when my hair is out, I can become this person. You know what I mean? You're leaving all other responsibilities or pushing them forward into the future so that once you have your hair, then you can do all these things. Like once you have your hair, then you're happy. Because you can't place your happiness on an external factor. You can't place your happiness on something that you can't control, because then you're bound to lose. I've said this before and I'm gonna say it again. When you die, no one is gonna care whether you had hair or not. They're gonna care about what you left behind, your legacy. I have issues with dandruff, so I use ketoconazole shampoo twice a week. Also, I use minoxidil 2 times a day. Should I wash my head daily or weekly? I do wash it twice a week with anti-dandruff shampoo, but I'm thinking of using a hair cleanser on a daily basis, but I don't know, to be honest. Washing my hair daily will have any damages. I think what you're doing is good enough. Washing your hair twice a week with a ketoconazole shampoo, I think that's great if you not have a lot of dandruff and you're suffering from this. My girlfriend, who does not suffer from male pattern baldness, she has great hair. She tends to get an oily scalp if she doesn't wash her hair like more than twice a week. I told her that she shouldn't wash with shampoo, but she should just put water into her scalp and massage it in. And she told me that that has helped her a lot with oiliness. However, for flakiness, I'm not really sure. I think that shampoo dries out your scalp, so that's why I personally don't want to use it. But if you need to use it for medical reasons, or if you can't bear the itchiness, then you have to use it. That's all I can say. I'm not really an expert in the subject, but I hope that helps a little bit. Thoughts on RU58841 and purilutamide? I want to be on the safe side when it comes to medication. That's why I use the FDA-approved drugs, finasteride and minoxidil, and we're still waiting for more data to come out with these 2 medications. I mean, they show kind of promising results, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. I'm still hoping that someday they will have the answer. That's why I'm kind of prolonging with my hair loss regimen using finasteride, minoxidil and derma rolling. When more data is out and more people have adapted to it, then we'll know more. What camera/program do you use to show us your scalp progress? I use my iPhone. I use the flash, put it on, taking a photo. So I take one from this temple, that temple, and then one from above. And I try to keep it as consistent as possible with the angles so that I can almost put them on top of each other and that they look the same. Is it right that after leaving minoxidil, a shedding phase starts? That is true. Once you discontinue taking minoxidil, all your hair loss gains will be lost. So basically, once you discontinue taking any medication, whether it's finasteride, minoxidil, dutasteride, you will initiate another shedding phase, which will make your hair loss come back to the way it would have been if you'd never taken medication at all and you just let your hair bald. So if you decide to fight hair loss, know that it's just a temporary solution, which means it will only work for as long as you keep on taking medication. Does minoxidil lose its effectiveness on some people later in the future? And if yes, I would like to know the reasons why and details. Alright, so from what I could find, people can grow resistant to medication. And this is not just minoxidil. This can be finasteride, it can be an ibuprofen for your headache. It could be anything. If we give our bodies same medication, same dosage frequently over a long period of time, our bodies can grow resistant to the dosage and the effect, which means that over time the medication's effect will get less and less and less because our body grows resistant to it. Which may be the case for some, but it's also important to note that us as humans go through different seasonal shedding phases. And this is not just on an annual basis, even for normal people that don't have any hair loss diagnosis, they tend to lose their hair as well in shedding phases, which is a short period of time where you will lose more hair. And this is basically just natural for the body. And I know when we're dealing with hair loss, it's hard to distinguish and pinpoint exactly what it is, but know that it's just a little shedding phase and it'll be over. And if it's not, maybe that means that you're growing resistant to minoxidil. Alright guys, so that's the end of part 1 Q&A with finasteride, minoxidil and derma rolling for combating hair loss. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, found it somewhat useful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.